Happy New Year. We have reached the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is right in the middle. So let us look back a little before we move forward. Bhagavad Gita begins with Arjuna's delusion. He was confused in the battlefield, and Bhagwan begins his teaching from chapter 2 onwards. So Bhagwan reveals to Arjuna his real nature, because unless we know who we are, we won't be able to proceed further in life properly. So as I had mentioned in the introduction also of Gita, that we should be clear about what is our view about our own self-view, then our vision about the world around us, and also our understanding of God or the Supreme Power. So when all these three is understood properly, three factors, we will be able to lead our life in a holistic way. Because wrong understanding or wrong opinion or misunderstanding about our own self can lead to a lot of negativities. Sometimes we have a very negative opinion about ourselves. Not only others have, but we ourselves might have a very negative opinion about who we are. We might consider ourselves totally helpless or totally having something lacking in our own self, or might have some fear in our heart, or some sadness, or some guilt, or some pride. So this type of attitude about ourselves makes all our action and interaction with the world a negative itself. Then we might have a negative opinion about the world around us, or not a complete understanding of the world made up of all beings, and also the various situations and circumstances which come in our life. One may not be properly tuned to them. So that also becomes harmful. Then also our opinion and understanding of God, whether we believe in God or not. And if we believe, then what type of God, what is our understanding of God, that also creates a major impact in our life. So when we study Bhagavad Gita, we become clear about who we are, what is this world around me, and what is the nature of God. And we also come to understand our relationship with the world, our relationship with God, and the life becomes complete. So in the first 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan mainly stressed on the topic of the self, who I am or who you are, O Arjuna. Bhagwan revealed it to him in so many chapters. In the 2nd chapter itself, Bhagwan indicated to Arjuna that you are that self which is neither born nor does it die. You are that pure consciousness. You are not just this body. You are that pure consciousness, whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not, whether you experience it or not at present, but you are that. You are that pure consciousness which is not cut by any weapons, which is not destroyed by any weapon or anything of this world. It is imperishable, birthless, deathless. That is your real nature. Then Bhagwan went on to explain to Arjuna that in order to recognize our own self, we have to go in a state of meditation. that only help us to come to realize who we are. To make our mind go into the state of meditation, or to go into the state of meditation, the mind should be very calm and peaceful. And that can be brought about by karma yoga, by the path of action. So how we should perform action and make our mind pure. Also Bhagavan explained the path of upasana and the path of knowledge, which further purifies the mind. And then in 6th chapter, elaborately, Bhagavan explained the path of meditation. Having followed that path, one comes to recognize oneself as that pure consciousness, free from or the witness of this body, mind, intellect, witness of the waking, dream and deep sleep state, which is birthless and deathless. But after 6th chapter, Bhagavan begins the topic of that Ishvara, God, or that supreme reality. Because one may understand oneself as that pure consciousness, but still may have the feeling that there are other beings also different from me, or this world is there which is different from me. We should be able to understand our relationship with the world and relationship with God. Then only our understanding will be complete. Just knowing ourselves without knowing our relationship with world and God is an incomplete knowledge about ourselves. So from the 7th chapter onwards, Bhagavan reveals his own nature. And while revealing his own nature, he also reveals the nature of the world. Because world and God are not different. World is outer expression of God alone. What we see as world, made up of animate and inanimate objects, the vast cosmos, Bhagavan says it is my prakriti. It's not different from me. So he talked about the apara and para prakriti. The whole world made up of this Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi, the 5 great elements, the mind, the intellect, Ahankar, and the Avyakta and all this Bhagavan says is my prakriti, my nature, my lower nature, my material nature, but it's my nature. It's not different from me. And my higher nature is that para prakriti. It's that consciousness which expresses through this whole world. And that consciousness alone expresses as so many beings of this world. So when we understand this 7th chapter very deeply, we will be able to comprehend what is the nature of this world and what is the nature of God. And Bhagavan also showed in 7th chapter that the path to come to realize your identity with me is through knowledge and through surrender, through bhakti. He says that Maya is the one which creates an obstacle, but mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. One who surrenders to me will be able to cross over this Maya and come to understand, come to experience one's oneness with God. So what we have understood in the beginning as 3 factors, self, world, and God, ultimately we will understand that all these 3 are not 3, but they are one only. World and God are not different, they are one. World and self is not different, they are one. And self and God is not different, they are one. All 3 appears to be different, but they are actually one. At present, we experience them as different, but they are actually one. Just as we stand in front of the mirror, we experience two persons, one standing outside and one as though standing inside the mirror, looking at you and smiling at you, or sometimes frowning at you. So it appears as though it's different person. Like the birds and all, many times they sit on the mirror and keep on, what is it called, pecking? They feel as though some other bird is there. So similarly, one may feel that there is some other person inside the mirror, but actually it's not different. It's my own reflection. Similarly, one may feel the world as different from oneself. One may feel that God is different from oneself, but actually it's one only. It's just a play of one. One doesn't experience it. It is not realized, but it is true. So Bhagavan tells Arjuna that you can experience it by surrendering to me completely and overcoming this Maya, which is creating this illusion of difference. The illusion of difference is created by my own power, but you can follow this path, surrender to me in love, with knowledge, and you will experience your oneness with me. So in the 7th chapter, Bhagavan reveals his nature. When we say Bhagavan Krishna, here Bhagavan Krishna is that Supreme Lord, Ishvara only, who is speaking through that particular form as Krishna. So Bhagavan had started this topic in the 7th chapter. He told Arjuna that I will reveal myself completely to you. Now you are ready to know who I am. Just like till 6th chapter, Bhagavan had kept his identity secret. In 4th chapter, little bit he had revealed that I am the one who takes avatar and all. But he had not revealed his whole identity. So here in the 7th chapter, he revealed to Arjuna who he is and how we can surrender to him and come to realize his complete identity. Bhagavan says, one who strives on this path ultimately come to know me completely. They know me as Brahma, they know me as their own self, they know me as this nature of 5 elements, they know me as Jiva, they know me as Ishvara, they know me completely. So Bhagavan had expressed this in the 7th chapter. In the last 2 verses also of the 7th chapter he expressed this. But then Arjuna had some questions. So Bhagavan took up that question in the 8th chapter. So it was like a break in between. Bhagavan had started this topic. He had proceeded on this topic. But then Arjuna had asked this question in between. And unless that question is answered, it keeps on nagging us. Though we don't allow people asking question in between, but it can be quite nagging, that question. So we keep on, that question keeps on coming up. So Arjuna had this question that what do you mean by Brahma? What is this Adhyatma? What is this Adidaiva, Adiyajna and all? So in order to satisfy him, Bhagavan answered his questions in the 8th chapter. But in the 9th chapter now, again he continues with his topic of revealing his own nature and how we can experience our identity with God and this world. That is the ultimate aim and goal of our life, to experience our identity with God, to experience our own self as that supreme divinity. That is the aim and goal. Without this identity, without recognizing and realizing this identity, our samsara will continue, our confusion will continue, our sorrow and pain and fear might continue. So this identity is very important. Those who have recognized and realized this identity, they are called the great realized masters or the what you call Mahatmas. One who comes to finally understand that Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahma. To give an example of the ocean and the wave who is getting very disturbed, the wave who doesn't know what to do, what not to do, one single wave. Just imagine one single wave having a lot of trouble, confused, doesn't know what to do with life, have that feeling of competition with other waves. That wave is acting very smart. He is rising higher than me. I will show that wave. I can also rise higher. So like that, the wave is quite confused and is interacting with the other waves in a very different way. So one teacher wave comes there, happens to come, happens to be around, and tells that wave that, oh my dear wave, don't wave. That you are actually that water. You are that water. Understand yourself not as that form, but understand yourself as water. And for that, you shift your attention from all these distractions and focus your attention on yourself, what you consider your own self. Focus your attention on yourself and understand that you are that water. So slowly and steadily the wave understands this, quietens itself, focuses its attention and comes to realize that, oh, I am this water. This form is just outside. The form changes, but I as water remains same. Form rises and falls, but I as water remains same. But even after gaining this understanding, the wave might have the feeling that the other waves are different from me. The ocean is different from me. The ocean is that Ishvara. Other waves are the world in front of me. That wave might think that it is different from me. So it is still incomplete knowledge. The complete knowledge is when the wave realizes the water in me and the water in all waves are one. In fact, the wave realizes that water alone is. Waves are just outer name and form given to water. But what is real is water alone. Water alone appears like the ocean. Water alone appears like so many waves. So when that wave realizes this, then that wave is called a realized wave. And in fact, we cannot separate it then. It is the master wave. It has fulfilled its identity. It has fulfilled its life. And a very strange thing, the ocean continues to exist. The waves continues to exist. Others do not even know what happened. The other wave next to this wave may find it strange. सब लोग आके इनको नमस्कार करते, मेरे को किसी ने नमस्कार नहीं किया. Might find it very strange, but that wave has totally transformed. It has gained enlightenment. Similarly, all of us are like waves. Ishvara, when we say Ishvara or God, he is like ocean. And this whole world are other waves. They are also other waves. So I have to realize that I am that pure water or pure consciousness, and all these other beings are also expression of the same consciousness. So in order to realize my own self as pure consciousness, I follow the path of meditation. That gives me knowledge. But even after gaining this knowledge, one has to surrender to the totality, to the total consciousness. Therefore, Bhagavan in the 7th chapter says, Jnanavan mam prapadyate. Having gained this knowledge, understanding, one surrenders to me and comes to gain or realize or experience this oneness. So this is a very important factor. Therefore, this whole topic has been brought out. Otherwise, with 6th chapter, the Bhagavad Gita should have been over. But it continues. So in the 7th chapter, Bhagavan revealed his nature as this apara and para prakriti, and himself beyond this, beyond all names, beyond all forms. And he had promised Arjuna that I will reveal to you jnanam and vijnanam. Jnanam means that knowledge, and also I will give you the path by which you can directly experience, directly realize this truth. Now Bhagavan in this 9th chapter continues with this topic of revealing his nature and then revealing the path by which we will be able to recognize our oneness with God. So the nature of God and the path is bhakti. But the real understanding of bhakti we will come to know when we study this chapter. There are a lot of misunderstanding are there about the term bhakti, but here in this chapter, Bhagavan very clearly reveals what is the exact nature of bhakti. What is the exact nature of surrender? He had said that one who surrenders to me overcomes this maya and comes to realize me. So what is the meaning of this surrender? All this he will reveal in this chapter. This chapter is one of the most beautiful chapter, and some of the most famous verses, or one of the most famous verse is there in this chapter, that ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. So all this will be revealed. Bhagavan says that one who constantly thinks and serves me and surrenders to me, I take care of them. So it's the most beautiful chapter and beautiful day. So let us begin. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Navamodhyayah. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshamyanasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajñatva mokshase shubhat idantu te guhyatamam pravakshamyanasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajñatva mokshase shubha. So Bhagavan here begins, like he doesn't wait for Arjuna's question. Arjuna doesn't have any question here. So he continues with the topic which he had started in the 7th chapter. He says, hey Arjuna, ki idantu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave. I will again reveal to you the topmost secret. This knowledge which Bhagavan reveals, he calls it the top secret. Guhyatamam is a superlative degree. Guhya means secret. Guhyatara is more secret. Guhyatama, most secret. See, in the world, people have different types of secrets. So that which we keep to ourselves, or that which we reveal to someone in private, alone, that we consider as secret. Here Bhagavan is not talking about his secret or his some others, this worldly secret, But this is some fantastic secret which has remained secret, though we are always with our own self. Bhagwan will be revealing the nature and identity of our own self with that God, which is a great secret. The beauty of the secret is even when it is revealed, sometimes it is not understood. Secret, if everyone knows about it, then it is not a secret. But even when it is told, it is not understood completely. Slowly and steadily, when we follow this path, and finally when we gain that state of enlightenment, that secret gets revealed completely. The secret gets revealed when we gain that experience. It's like a king who is dreaming that he is a beggar. And a great realized master comes in his dream and he tells him, "Oh my dear beggar, I will reveal a great secret to you." He said, "Okay, tell." He said, "You are a king." He will look at him quite surprised. He says, "1 रुपया दे दो भैया और आगे चले जाओ." Nowadays 1 रुपया is not much. But anyway, this is an old story, huh? So even when he is told, he will not believe. Because his experience is something else. His experience is that I am hungry. His experience is that I am waiting at this crossing. I have to go and ask, keep on asking and all. After so much of struggle, I get little money. And you are saying I am a great king. I have a big kingdom. I am very wealthy. How can I believe? So one may not believe. But if he has little faith in that person, and if he follows the path which the person shows him, and he wakes up, when he wakes up, the secret gets revealed to him. Suddenly he realizes, yes, now I understand what he was saying, what he was telling me in my dream. Similarly, the secret which Bhagwan will reveal here, it will remain secret till we wake up. Therefore, it is a master secret like. And when we wake up, and when again we tell others who are asleep, they will not believe. So it continues to remain a secret, a top secret, about our own self, about the nature of our own self and our identity with that supreme reality, with God. So Bhagwan says, "Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshami." This is a different knowledge. This is not like any ordinary knowledge. I will reveal it to you completely. Pravakshami, prakarshena vakshami. Completely, I will reveal this Brahmajnana, this top knowledge to you. Why to me? Because anasuyave, because you have this wonderful quality that you do not see dosha in guna. This is a very interesting quality. Asuya, you are free from asuya. Asuya means seeing dosha in guna also. Guneshu dosha darshana. Even in good thing, people find some fault. Fault finding or fault seeing person is called person having asuya. Always seeing something wrong, even if everything is good, you will see some defect in it. And such a person cannot proceed on this path of spirituality. If you see defect in the path, defect in the goal, defect in whatever is revealed, it becomes difficult to proceed. And there are people like that. Whatever you tell the best thing and they will say but. They will begin the sentence with but. But means whatever you have said is cut. ये बहुत अच्छा है, भगवद गीता में तो बहुत ही अच्छा बताया है, लेकिन means everything is negated. Swamiji, you said everything so nicely, everything is very clear, but means when we hear the word but, we get frightened actually. But then he will start telling all sorts of negative things. But it is not possible, for me. For Arjuna it was okay. He was, for him it was different. We have to attend meetings. We have so many other problems. We have to go for our work and all. So many things are there. How can I follow this path? But Arjuna was not like that. He was asuya rahit, anasuya way, not finding fault. See, it's our attitude. With what attitude we look, that knowledge also reveals itself to us in that way. If you begin with the premise, you please switch off the phone. If we begin with the premise that what is said is wrong or what is said is difficult, then whatever we do, we confirm what we have assumed. See, this is psychology. There are people who begin with that premise, मेरे से नहीं हो सकता है बाबा. Then आपसे नहीं होगा बाबा. Because you have started with that premise, and whatever you do, it will get confirmed, because you will find those things which confirm your idea. That is a very interesting psychology. And the more it gets confirmed, more you become more firm in your false idea. So one should have an open mind. When Bhagwan himself is telling us that it is a simple path, a very beautiful path I will reveal to you. If you follow this, you will be able to experience me. You will be able to gain that state of enlightenment. We should have that belief. We should have that faith in his words. Without finding faults. Without creating our own imaginary fears and imaginary ideas against it. So Arjuna was like that, free from all these negativities. So Bhagwan says, you are a very good disciple. I will reveal to you the secret. Because the secret is very dear to God. So he doesn't want to reveal it to everyone. So what is the secret you want to reveal? He says, Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. I will give you knowledge along with Vijnana. Vijnana means its experience. Same two terms were used in the 7th chapter also. He says, I will give you knowledge, means the theory, and I will show you the path by which you can directly experience it. I will give you the entire theory first, so that you get the complete understanding of what I am saying. And then I will tell you the path by which you can directly experience it. It's not just vague theory itself, but it is Vijnana Sahitam. So Vijnana is Anubhav Sahitam. Directly one can experience what Bhagwan is saying. Because only in the final experience is the culmination of all our sadhana. Not by just theoretically understanding it. It's like food also. Suppose somebody describes a beautiful dish elaborately. Like some people have the habit of watching some program on television also where they keep on preparing something. Ye dalo, wo karo, ye karo. Some people like it actually. They just sit back, relax and watch that program. प्रोग्राम देखने के बाद मूंगफली लाके खाते हैं और ठंडा पानी पीते हैं. So what is the use? No use just watching there and enjoying that. It's good in one step, okay, better, but it is not fulfilling, it's not complete. Similarly, a lot of people sit back, relax, listen to Bhagavad Gita and मूंगफली खाते हैं जाके. But Bhagwan says, you listen and follow this path, you will be able to experience it directly. That is Vijnana. So Jnanam, Vijnana Sahitam, Yat Jnatva. What is the gain? What I will gain by knowing and experiencing this knowledge? He said, you will become free, moksha se ashubhat, with all that is evil. You will become free from this samsara. Samsara is considered ashubha. Ashubha means it is full of sorrow, pain. See, Jagat is not full of sorrow and pain. Samsara is our wrong relationship with ourselves and the world around and with God. Creates conflict. See, world itself doesn't create conflict, but our attitude towards the world, towards ourselves, towards God, which creates conflict in our mind, creates fear, creates anger, jealousy, pain, sadness. All this is our negative attitude towards it. So Bhagavan says, it's like again to talk about the example of the waves. So if a wave has only understanding of itself as a form, as a wave, it will have all sorts of feeling against the other wave. But when it comes to know that I am water, the other wave is also water, all the differences dissolves instantly. Similarly, all this samsara made up of sorrow, pain, struggle, fear, birth again and again, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, all this samsara comes to an end only when we gain this knowledge, experience about our own self. There is no other way. Jnanat evatu kaivalyam. Only through self-knowledge one can transcend samsara. There is no other way. So Bhagavan says, I will reveal it to you because you are my dear friend, you are my great devotee, and you have all these good qualities. I will reveal it to you. And by the grace of our own teacher, and by the grace of Ved Vyasji and other great Mahatmas, we also have gained this knowledge. We also have this opportunity to gain this knowledge. So, Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam Yad Jnatva Moksha Se Shubhat, Ashubhat. You will become free of this Ashubh Samsara. See, before revealing that knowledge, now Bhagavan tells us the Mahima of this knowledge, again in the next verse also. See, it's like when you go to a Tirtha Kshetra also, before taking a dip in that holy river, before even going to the temple and all, we should know the Mahima, the greatness of this place. That is part of the ritual. Unless we know the greatness of that place, just taking just a dip and just doing something will not be complete. Similarly, before even revealing this knowledge, Bhagavan tells us the greatness of this knowledge so that we have the right approach, right attitude towards it. So in the following verse, Bhagavan gives us lots of adjectives about this great knowledge which he will reveal. He says, Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Bhagavan says, this knowledge, about this knowledge, he says it is Raja Vidya, it is the royal knowledge. Raja Vidya, royal knowledge means it is the king of all knowledge. It is the king of all knowledge. See, we have in this world so many things to know, lot of knowledge. Right from childhood, the children go to school, then college, And so many branches are there. And nowadays, actually, the more and more branches and more fields are there wherein you can study and gain knowledge. It's vast life. And every day it keeps on increasing. Our knowledge about the world, what we know, outer form and name and all, it keeps on increasing. It's vast. Even if you take one aspect of this world, you can spend the entire life studying it. Some people, they do just studying something, one aspect. Studying the behavior of one particular animal. They spend years together in that. Sometimes you see on this some channels, special channels, the photographer and all, they will be waiting there for the chimpanzee to move. Look here and there. And sometimes they don't move also. They just sit, relax, and they're waiting for them. And when the photographer gets tired and all, or he is about to change his film and all, that time that fellow does all sorts of tricks. One spends years together. And then we understand certain things which we did not know before. About the animals, about birds, about nature, about weather, about the various stars and planets. It's quite amazing. People spend hours, days, years together observing the stars, and then they suddenly discover a new planet. And it's a great joy. So a lot of knowledge is there. But what is the ultimate in all knowledge? See, all this knowledge which we gain about the world, which gives us joy, which makes our life easy, which helps us to interact with the world in a better way, all of them are good in a way, but they are incomplete because they lack one important factor. They lack the knowledge of the self. They lack the knowledge of the one who is gaining knowledge. I know the world, but I don't know myself. I know about atoms, I know about the planets, I know about the stars, I know about the plants and animals, but I don't know who I am. Then it is incomplete. Because the one who knows, one should be able to know that person also. We assume that we know ourselves. We assume that I have knowledge about myself, I just want to know about the world. But without knowing myself, whatever I know is incomplete because what I know is my interpretation of it. If I am not very sure about who I am, my interpretation of the world will be incomplete. I don't say it is totally wrong, but incomplete. So Raja Vidya is that Atma Vidya, knowledge about our own self. When I say self, it includes the world and it includes God. That is the beauty of this knowledge. Self-knowledge doesn't mean knowledge of ego. Self-knowledge doesn't mean knowledge of our personality, outer personality, of our mind, our intellect. Self-knowledge doesn't mean psychology. It's not just knowledge of mind and how it functions. Self-knowledge is knowledge of that supreme self, which is the witness of our waking, dream and deep sleep state, which remains unchanged in all the changing phenomena. Unless I know